Oh, you know who I am. I'm that Amazon buyer that's now going over to eBay. And I've been returning stuff like crazy on Amazon. All my broken stuff, buying stuff on Amazon. I think they're catching on to me. And now I'm coming over to eBay. And I've heard all kinds of stuff, things that I've read online, that eBay doesn't back the sellers. And I'm coming for you. I'm going to take my broken stuff. I'm going to buy your good stuff. And I'm going to return my broken stuff. And there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. Try to stop me. You do realize there's a lot of truth in that. There's a lot of people out there who are right now trying to buy your item, one of my items, and they feel exactly that way. And the good news is that it doesn't happen all that often. But when it does, it feels like everyone's doing it. It makes you really feel bad about doing eBay. But this video here is to talk to you about just the different types of eBay fraud that is going on. For those eBay veterans out there who've sold for many years, just as I have, I'm sure you guys have many stories. It's not a matter of if it's going to happen to you as a seller. It's a matter of when. And things seem to be getting a little worse, if I'm just being honest with you. It seems like every other week I'm dealing with some issue caused by a buyer, whether they're swapping out another one of my items, whether they're not returning everything that they've been sent, whether they're trying to hit me up for a partial refund, or they're going to give me a negative feedback. It just goes on and on and on. Sadly enough, eBay is going the way of Amazon, and they give sellers very little recourse when it comes to buyer fraud. The main kind of fraud that's out there is, I think, one that has come from Amazon buyers. And I really think that Amazon has created monsters out of some people who basically are very dishonest. The very few people out there who are very dishonest. And Amazon, and there's been many documentaries about this, but Amazon just doesn't check returns. I get Amazon pallets all the time, and you would be surprised about the number of items just from the returns that Amazon gets that are swap outs, not the same item as the box. These customers get the item from Amazon for 30 days. I think that's the turnaround time before they can return an item. Maybe it's 45. But to return something that's been beat up like you've had it for years, that's a common scam too. People go onto Amazon, they buy a brand new item and swap their old broken one out in many cases. And so I know it's rampant on Amazon, and I see it getting worse on eBay. And it just tells me these same buyers from Amazon, okay, sometimes Amazon will cut a buyer off if they return too much, okay? Now, I'm not saying that's the case here, but you got your Amazon buyers, and they buy on eBay as well. The difference is, when you have a return on Amazon, usually if it's FBA or Prime, it goes back to Amazon. They don't care. They'll give you the refund as soon as the tracking number generates. Nobody checks that return. What they're not counting on is they're swapping that item out, sending it to you as a seller, and they're not counting on you checking that return. And for the seasoned eBay buyers who still try to commit fraud on sellers, nothing's being done. They still are allowed to buy on eBay, even when we report the buyer. And how do I know this? Because I can go back to my transactions, which I have, check their buyers that I've reported, and they're still buying from people. I sold something similar to this. These are some Liberty earbuds, and these are open box. I got these back in 2019, okay? And I had a couple left my daughter gave me. She stopped selling on eBay, and she had a whole bunch of them that they were selling as well. It's part of the pallet they split with me. And tested them out. They're clean. They look good. A lot of times with these liquidation lots, customers will return something. They try it once. They don't like it. For me, the first time I tried earbuds, they didn't stay in my ear very well, and I didn't like them, okay? And there's many people out there just like that. They're looking for a certain kind, and maybe this is what they thought it was. Maybe they don't like the color. Maybe they don't like the way it functions. They send it back, okay? I get it in liquidation. I check it out, make sure it works, make sure it's clean, list it, okay? Now, I sold a pair of these early in the month, or actually late in September, okay? And the buyer received these on, I believe, the 2nd of October, okay? So chances are they got it that evening after they checked their mail. And the 4th, the morning of the 4th, I get a notification saying that the buyer wants to return my item. And they state that it's hard for them to hear, okay? So I send them a message saying, hey, I understand that you want to return this item. You know, these are not noise canceling earbuds. They are fully functional. You know, but if you do decide to return these, I have created or paid for a return label for you. Please return everything in the same condition that it was sent to you. No response from the buyer, okay? Now, that's not to say, that's not really a red flag, because not all buyers respond when you send them a message. So a few days come and go. I get the earbuds back. And of course, the first thing I do is I take a moment to open the package and inspect the item, make sure it's what I sent them. You know, outside chance, everything is on the up and up and it's what I sent them. Well, in this case, not so much. The earbuds were absolutely filthy. Like they had like ear crust inside the buds. Now, there's no way from one day, 1.5 days of use, they got them on the 2nd, they want to return them on the 4th. There is absolutely no way you're going to get that kind of ear crust on the inside of the earbuds. I opened the case for the earbuds, and the bottom part had like a layer of crust. That's not something you put on overnight. That is weeks and months of accumulated nastiness, okay? And this tells me this guy he had this same pair, swapped them out for a pair that's brand new or close to new, more functional or cleaner than his. Now, that kind of ear crust, you might not have been able to hear any pair of earbuds. There's probably a lot going on in there that you need to clean out. Nonetheless, he was kind enough to send me back his old earbuds, and the serial number on the case didn't match the serial number on the box. So what did I do? Of course, I went in and I used the refund tool that eBay is happy to give us. I clicked on refund this item, and I clicked on edit the amount because he's not getting a full refund. Went to give him a 50% refund. I put, you can see here, I'll put a screenshot. I put that the item was used, well used, and I put my reasoning, and I provided photos showing the absolute disgust. And did you know that the next button, the very bottom button that allows me to continue with the refund, was grayed out? So it allowed me to access the tool, but would not allow me to deduct a cent from this guy's refund, except it allowed me to keep the original shipping. So when I went over to the next screenshot, you can see here, when I remove the deduction, it allows me to continue. Now I contacted eBay for Business, and they told me that everything is fine in my account. There are no restrictions in place that's preventing me from issuing a partial refund, and that it should have gone through just fine. That's all they were able to tell me. My thought was, when I sent them a message, that maybe they're restricting me because maybe in their mind I've used it too much. Maybe a handful of times, because I am very, very meticulous about the returns. And if you don't return everything I send you, even down to the packaging, there's going to be a deduction. And, I make sure that whenever I get a return request, I remind them to please send everything exactly how I sent it in the same condition. And not everyone reads, but it's the right thing to do. And you know what? This guy, and I'm not going to out him on this video. I should, but I'm not. Okay. This guy, no, should not have returned his old earbuds. Basically, he stole from me. Okay. Now, what I can do and what I'm not going to do is, what I can do is go to ic3.gov, file an internet fraud report, okay, and go through there with the penalty of perjury, supply all my information, all this buyer's information, and then call eBay, if you can get a hold of them these days, by the way. Have you tried to get a hold of eBay? No callbacks in the last week. They're very, very difficult to get a hold of. I don't know what's going on. I mean, this pandemic's been only going on for the last year and a half, but go figure. There's a shortage of everything in the grocery stores. I guess add a shortage of phone reps too while we're at it. Nonetheless, I digress like always. So I can go on to ic3.gov, fill all that stuff out, but we're talking about a $30 pair of earbuds. And I'm going to reserve that card for something that's a little bit more expensive than that. And it's not a matter of if it's going to happen, it's just a matter of when. I don't want to create a track record with ic3.gov with every time I get hit with fraud, because it's happening a lot with a fraud complaint. I'm just not going to. But I do know from talking to reps at eBay. Now, these aren't the overseas reps that can't hold a conversation with you. I'm talking about the US reps that have sold on eBay, and many of them sell on eBay themselves, that if you file an ic3.gov fraud complaint and provide them with what is an equivalent to the police report number, they will work with you, and they, in many cases, will give you that refund. So you're not, and we're talking not 50%, but the full refund. But I don't want to make a case of every time, I use the refund tool because these buyers, they decide to send their old $30 set of earbuds back. Again, I'm going to play that card when I have, an item over $60, $70, $100, maybe more. I'm going to save it for that time, okay? How you want to do it is up to you, but just know that that's an option. And I think that if, as sellers, we start taking action, start reporting these people through ic3.gov, buyers will get the message, or at least that same buyer won't be trying to fraud people again, okay? That's just my 2 cents. Now, you still have other fraud buyers who will buy your item and then try to come to you and tell you, hey, there's X, Y, and Z wrong with this item, when there probably isn't, okay? And then they finish the message with, what would you like to do? Okay. And that is a red flag for them fishing for a partial refund. Now, what many sellers have done and continue to do is pacify these bad buyers by caving in to their demands for partial refunds. And what that does, it just feeds the beast. It encourages them to continue doing this to other sellers, okay? And I encourage you to tell them, no, we do not give partial refunds. If you have a problem with the item you bought from me, you're welcome to return it for a refund. Now, I realize there's a small percentage of you that do not do returns. There is no such thing as no returns, as I've said on this channel many, many times. If a buyer wants to take your perfectly good item, there's nothing wrong with it, and claim anything they want to claim about it, they can file an item not as described case, and eBay will not care about the facts or about anything that is true about the item. They're going to assume the buyer is right and you are the bad seller, and you have the burden of proof against you. The buyer doesn't have to provide it. And even when you do, a lot of times it's not enough. So welcome to eBay. That is the truth that many people can attest to. I read about this all the time on eBay forums, and I like to read the forums because I like to see what other people are experiencing. I like to help others, not just through this channel, but also on the forums. And I take time after I'm done working on my spare time, and I do that. That's what I like to do, okay? But there's a lot of people out there. You got your chargebacks. Buyers will buy your item. They'll claim they don't recognize the charge on their credit card. I had someone buy a Nest door lock for their front door, and then they tried to open a chargeback stating that they didn't recognize the item. I wanted so bad to drive to California to knock on their door because you have their address. And when they open it, ask them where they got that door lock. Like to see what their response would be when I tell them that I'm the person that sold it to them. Nonetheless, of course, didn't do that. Followed up with eBay when the chargeback came through. And you guys, and I read so many times that buyers will open a chargeback against you for whatever. They let the case lapse. That's an instant loss. Whenever eBay contacts you to tell you that a case has been opened against you, you got to follow up on it. You cannot let that request time out. You got to stop what you're doing while it's fresh. Send eBay what they're asking for. You have buyers that'll open an item not received case when there's tracking information on the package. Now, I'm not sure. Most people are just wondering where my package is, but there are a few buyers that know that creates a case, and the burden's on the seller to respond to that. And you have to provide the tracking number. Now, don't ask me why eBay wants us to provide information they already have, which is the tracking number, but they do. And you're required to provide that. You get an item not received case, and we're going to get a lot of these in December, thanks to the post office. You have to respond to that. If you don't respond by the date that's provided by eBay, usually 2 or 3 days, eBay is going to close the case. Buyer will keep the item and they'll get their money back. Plain and simple, okay? Chargebacks, you have to be thorough when you deal with a chargeback request, okay? You have to provide as much information as you can. And I know that they only want you to provide a screenshot or a photo. Go onto a Word document, type up your side of the story, capture that Word document in a screenshot, and provide that to eBay along with your explanation of what's happened here, your side of the story, because that will be presented to the credit card company. I haven't lost the case yet. I know there's many who have, but I like to think it's because I've been very thorough in my chargeback claims. And, you know, these buyers, many are innocent. 96, 97, I think, % of people are good people. The other 2-3% are out to do what they can, get as much as they can for free or as little as possible, and they don't care what sellers they hurt along the way. Don't be that seller. Stand up for yourself. Do not accept partial refunds. Only in the rare case where you realize you really goofed up. Maybe you made a mistake in the listing and misrepresented the item. But other than that, take the return, make them send everything back, before you give them any kind of money back. And, you know, start following up with your business, your store, and make sure that you do it in a timely manner. So many sellers, so many new sellers out there are finding out the hard way. I continue to see this every day, and it doesn't have to be that way. So guys, what do you think? Like always, comment down below. If you enjoy this type of content, please do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and of course, hit that notification bell, because when I make another video or go live, you're going to be notified when others just will have no idea. And if you like this type of content, you'll be the first to know. So guys, I'm here to help you, but no matter how you deal with these fraudulent buyers, just remember it's one more example of how flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have a great rest of your week. By the way, if you're watching this video today, Monday the 11th, which is Columbus Day, no mail. You don't have to do any shipping today. Ship tomorrow. Get some more stuff listed. But just know you don't have to worry about going to the post office. So I want you guys to have a great start of your week, and we will talk to you very soon.